Regardless of actual geography, in my mind Cheshire is a plain, a flat expanse lying above my native Middle-earth Midlands and the white lowery skies of the true north. And I do mean above and below, not just north and south. Cheshire is a landing between the floors of England's shape-shifting mansion cum maisonette, strewn with discarded and familiar objects, imbued with all of the beauty and menace of the random and the everyday. The plastic space trinket of Jodrell Bank, the tin toy cars of the footballers and their wives, and the dislodged die-cast crown of St Mary's Church, Nantwich. Nantwich is the capital of Cheshire in Cummings' world. Despite the congruence of their names, Chester is something separate, a different principality. It is also a witch, like Northwich, Middlewich and Leftwich, names associated with salt production, brine springs, salt ships and salt pans lying side by side on the banks of the River Weaver. And if you stand for long enough on the riverbank, then eventually the body of your dead enemy will float past you, as an old Chinese proverb that I'm reasonably sure I heard in an episode of Minder apparently says. Trailing in its wake, it ploughs up and tills over the old certainties to mix a metaphor with a splash of nautical and a sprinkle of agricultural. Just off the A500 in Cummings World, there's a sign that says Nantwich, National Centre for Transience and Impermanence. For Nantwich seems uniquely self-aware in this regard, a fact testified to by the presence of this lovely little piece of automata, a collection box which celebrates the cycle of disruption and reassertion, chaos and cosmic order. Know what I mean? year after Nantwich's Great Fire saw the completion of the Crown Hotel, more panels and partitions, mullions and man-traps, sagging its way attractively through the stop-motion film of poetic time. In 1779, Lionel Tolmash, the 5th Earl of Dysart, commissioned construction of this fabulous terrace of 9 houses. Thanks, Lionel. Like the Gaudi Nouveau of the coffee shop in nearby Knutsford, the Old Witch Theatre is that rarest of things, a stylistic survivor from the early part of last century, an exotic escapee, AWOL in a provincial English town. In 1911, local architect E.H. Heddleston designed the building that now occupies the corner of Pillory Street. Make yourself a mental mood board of the dreams, experiences and fragments of conversation that resulted in this flamboyant essay in French Cheshire Baroque, complete with portals and spirelets. It deserves its own series. The Cummings Your Way online dictionary is officially jealous of the word pygostyle, a deliberate Cummingsian mispronunciation of the word pygostyle, which refers to the final few caudal vertebrae fused in a single ossification. You know, the main component of the Europygium, or parson's nose, a phrase which had its origin precisely here. About 600 years ago, the local vicar was so reluctant to pay for the choir stalls that he'd commissioned that the carpenter carved his face onto the backside of a bird. It sits here still, amid the potent, the prosaic, the profane, and the downright psychedelic. The devil pulling a woman's mouth open for lying, a mermaid with a comb and a mirror, dragons and dolphins, dogs and dodos and deer. They lie nestled face down from the world, just a couple of inches through the looking glass from the workaday street outside. The future becomes the past. Rebellion becomes conformity, and the secret becomes the transparent. The smoke from the mushroom cloud of my secret bunker dreams clammy and confined and blocking out the sun like an inverted pyramid, disperses like musket smoke in the Battle of Nantwich, or burning timber in its Great Fire of 1583. It dissolves like the ashes that cling to the cooling corpse of Jan Palach, the student who set himself on fire on the steps of Wenceslas Square in Prague, in protest against the subjugation of the Czech people by the armies of the Warsaw Pact on a January morning when I was 6 months old. In 1644, 61 years after the Great Fire, the Battle of Nantwich was fought. Its opposing forces were led by Sir Thomas Fairfax and Robert Byron, Lord Byron's younger brother. On the 24th of January, as royalists and parliamentarians alike checked their half-timbered mobile phones and cast desultory glances at their oak-panelled digital watches, the River Weaver rose in spate, dividing the royalist forces, who were consequently overwhelmed. I'm not going to check what rising in spate actually means, as it might spoil the image I've got of the icy river cracking and rearing, a great Japanese dragon of foaming Hiroshige waves, snaring the legs of soldiers and horses alike and pulling them beneath the earth, depositing them in Hack Green nuclear bunker amongst the bodies of the radiation burned and the self-immolated. Watch as the fire swells underground, engulfs itself, then dies down. It is relit, flares up, then dies down again and again.